Thanks for being here. So let's begin by connecting to our Ujjayi breath. We're using the ground. So we send the sit bones in and toward the ground. With our breath, we can start to feel lightness growing through the sacrum, through the low back. And if we continue all the way up the spine, and feel for growing that space through the neck and the skull. Take your time. We're feeling this space by reaching and sensing all the way down to the ground. If we were to simply pull our body up from the place where we were focusing, we would feel something else entirely. So when we try to lift ourselves up or pull ourselves up or straighten ourselves up, we get a different effect, a different registry. And we're going to do some rounds of Brahmari. We're going to address the head. So top of skull, middle of the brain, eye, ear, and then the mouth and the throat. There's a lot to the head space. There's a lot energetically going on in the neck and head space. We're going to spend a few breaths, a few moments. These are considered energetically distinct areas. The crown, distinct from the more middle of the brain, the eyes, ears, which is considered distinct from the mouth, teeth, tongue, and vocal area. Right? So rounds of Brahmari, buzzing up different facets of the head. And don't be shy to experiment a little bit. You can play with buzzing up the left side of your head, the right side of your head, the front, the back. So we're going to play a little bit in the head space. Here we go. last one or two. Then we'll straighten out the legs. I'm playing with Dandasana a little bit. So the most of us will work this pose as a pressing down pose. And then the some of us may have to work this as not a hand pressure pose, but a reaching or a palm outreach pose. Okay? So it just depends on what's going on in the wrist and the neck. I'll talk through the palms down. So I go palms down, fingertips forward. So I'm also using this as a little bit of a hand warm-up, because you can modulate how much pressure you can put through the hands. Once you pin that thumb tip down, spread the hand bones away from that thumb tip. And engaging the leg muscles, the quads, the feet. Inhale, pressing down. So as the arms press, the ribs grow toward the sky. The shoulders continue to move down, down, away from the head. And while you're holding your rib cage in suspension, deepen breath. There's a moment here where there's less weight on the ribs, and so on the spine bones and the discs. Take advantage of that tractioning moment. We're going to do a few versions of this today. So you get really steady with your degree of press. And then introduce breath into those traction tissues. Keep that skull, that freshly buzzed up skull, over throat, over heart. We'll take 2 more breaths. And folding forward. So now with the hands gently pulling, find out if you can offer your organs, your bones, this traction which may or may not convert to a stretch sensation. Stretch adjacent. And inhale, walk your way up. We'll cross legs right over left. There's a seated spinal twist here. Exhale, we'll turn to our right. Reach down through the sit bones. Give your neck support. Now this skull is something of a divine antenna. We're not going to let this thing just droop down. Reach down through the sit bones. Gather up your breath and get some breath support going all the way up to the neck and the skull area. Release. Inhale, come back. We'll switch sides. Left over right. Twisting to our left. When we release, we're going to set up bridge. We'll be doing some abdominal and breath stuff in bridge. So have nearby whatever you need to support your bridge. And here we go, lying back. There we go. And we'll bring the pelvis up. Once you like your support structures under your sacrum, and start to expand the ribs again. So as you inhale, the ribs, feel how they expand outward, like toward the walls, toward the horizon. It's kind of the primary move for us. The secondary move of that inhale is the upward. The ribs do arc and lift toward the head. Can you feel for that? I'll give you a moment. The primary movement is outward. The secondary, the lesser of the movements, is that uplifting motion of the ribs. Now next, start to use those low belly muscles patiently, gathering, drawing as you're emptying. So we'll be setting up, unlocking the hip. Inhale, bring your right foot up, ankle over thigh. Okay, now, so we get a little bit of an outreach through this set of thigh bones. We'll start to work the Udana. So you can moderately to swiftly exhale. Stay empty. And as you're reaching out through the thigh bones, as you're lifting the ribs toward your face, draw the belly in and back and up. So reach the thigh bones away from your face as you're picking the ribs up toward your face. Release the belly when you need a breath without gasping. Resist the urge to just sit on the block. Keep working with the legs. We need those. We'll do another. Moderately to swiftly exhale everything out. Drawing the belly in and back. Reach out through the thigh bones. Lifting, flaring the ribs. And when you release, we'll also set the right foot down on the ground. Find out what's opened up in your breathing through your torso, your gut. left side. Inhale the left knee up. Placing ankle over right thigh. On exhale, reaching the thigh bones away from the rib bones. We'll do a couple rounds of Udana here. Exhale, moderately, everything out. And as you're drawing the belly in and back, lift the ribs up, flare them. Keep reaching through that thigh bones. One final round at your pace. When we set the left foot down to the ground, explore with your breath all that new opening. We'll remove the blocks. And lower. When you're working the muscles of expiration, as you lower the ribs and the spine down, you get all sorts of novel movement through those rib muscles. Right. When we turn to a side, we'll be working shower on the wall. So I'll show you, remind you that. There was a lot of kind of suctioning move. So if you need to remain lying for some more moments, you take your time. I'm going to be moving to the next thing. But if you feel that you need to just stay with this new head pressure, fluid pressure, you stay lying as long as you need. Occasionally I've had people that just needed to remain lying after bridge for minutes. It's perfect. It's perfectly fine. Right. Same principle of traction. I'm using the wall, or you could use a little countertop. And reaching the sit bones back. So hands are about shoulder width. Feel how the deliberateness of each breath has the power to move all of these ribs. It's an awakening of the spine. The ribs are just a marvelous proxy for the spine. So maybe the practice, the discriminating practice for you might be to track the rib movement, following it all the way to the spine and the spine movement. When we release, we'll come back to our mats and we'll press into downward dog. Now with a great deal more physicality in downward dog. We'll create some of that similar sense of spaciousness through the guts and the spine, the thorax. So involve those arms. Press. Involve those legs. Draw the heels, the sit bones back. And gently set the knees down. All right, now we'll work dolphin. Let's go elbows under shoulders, forearms out in front. Exhale. We'll press the knees off the ground. And release. Okay. We'll be moving into pyramid from downward dog. Just scoop up any blocks you anticipate using. Exhale the knees off the ground. Inhale the right leg forward. And exhaling, allowing the neck to rest, hang. Can you discriminate between a quality of bending, rounding, that's different than the thorax expanding, suspending down, tractioning down? Do those feel different to you? Do you have a way of sensing those as different in your body? be moving into ostrich. Bend the right knee. Inhaling, step the left foot back quite a bit. Interlacing hands. And exhaling, you can rest your ribs on your thigh. That would be one way to work it. You can also hang, suspend your thorax inside your thigh. Inhale, bring the hands down to the sacrum, and we'll set the knee down, twisting lunge. Exhaling the left arm over the right thigh. Inhale, unwind. When we stand, left foot stepping to right foot. We stand for splits. Grab both hands, grab your right foot. And take the occasion to move your head over your throat, over your heart. There's pressing, there's sinking down. It gives rise to a more supported sense of inhabiting our core or our spine. Inhale. When we set the right foot down, we'll step the left foot back, setting the knee down. So whatever version that you're working of twisting scissors today. So twisting, arm over thigh. If I'm starting it from the ground like so, I generally like to crouch back and down as much as I can. So for some of you, the amount of twisting scissors you're working on is getting the arm to cross over, the hands, good hip or shoulder width. Okay, another iteration. So I start to pick my butt up, and I just gradually start to lean my weight into my hands. So if I had an unsure, say wrist or shoulder situation, I would hang in that. And by hang, I mean wait, breathe, pause, work with. And then if you're doing twisting scissors, you can, of course, float into it. Take a look at y'all. There you go. There it is. Good. And those of you floating, this is great. Use your hands. And now inhale. Draw the chest away from your pubic bones. Feel for that lengthiness through the thorax. I know we can ball up and wobble on our arms. That's not the hard part. To lengthen and to reach out through the legs as the trunk are pulling, elongating, and tractioning the trunk. Give you one more half moment. There you go. Good. And then inhale. We'll set it back down to the ground. We'll step back, downward dog. We'll do these few things on the other side. I'm kind of just moving at the pace of a really deep breath for me, so I hope you're getting some deep breaths for you in these moments also. So the awareness, or the attention if you want, rides with the breath. So we continually reading the body, the terrain, reading the changing landscape. All right, so we started with pyramid. Inhale the left foot forward. As you exhale, the question I put to us on the other side is, can you feel in your body the torso elongating? And maybe you feel a stretch of some sort, and that's fine. You could feel both at the same time. Ostrich. Inhaling, we'll bend the left knee. Widening open the stance, interlace the hands, and then exhaling, hinge. So noticing and feeling right here as we're folding this solar plexus. Breathe right into that diaphragm, that solar plexus. Kind of freeing it up, checking it out, making sure we're not just balling up on our diaphragm. Sometimes we start with an image and we try to feel our way toward this image, like a pose image. But what if we drew this image of ostrich based entirely on how we're sensing it moment to moment? Wouldn't that ostrich, that outcome, look different every day, perhaps? Seem different. Twisting lunge. So inhale, we'll bring the hands down. We'll set the right knee down. Yes, we're in a half kneeling. And then exhaling the right arm, the right elbow, over the left thigh. The question in a few moments from now will be, how do I explore that suspension, that tractioning, that opening up through the core, through the guts? And we can start that practice right here in the twist. To that right arm, that purchase on the leg, pull. Guide the ribs forward. Feel how the ribs lift away from that solar plexus, and we can free up that diaphragm significantly. Inhale, we'll unwind, stepping the right foot forward to standing splits. Left foot, both hands. Both hands grab the left foot. Here we go. There you go. And inhale, we'll set that left foot down. Here we go, twisting scissors. We step the right foot back and down. If you're setting up from the ground, get a nice low crouch. So my butt's on or hovering over my right heel. That's what I mean by crouch. Okay. Watch you. Yeah, so we did a little bit of twisting yesterday, so we had plenty of moments where we're guiding, moving, supporting those shoulders. On this side, my opinion is that right shoulder, nudging that right shoulder away from the neck. So as the shoulder, the armpit receives the weight, the neck doesn't get a surprise. It's well secured. The lat, the armpit. Yeah, those armpit muscles, here they are. There you go. And if you're getting into it, and you're just like kind of grazing it for like a moment and then you tumble out, remember you can use the wall to steady yourself. So let's see if I can demonstrate that. I'll try it this way. I think I do it both ways. But let's say I am doing it this way. So where I'm about, I don't know, few feet. So I'm a little far. You might start a couple of feet from the wall. I think I've done it where I've used the front foot to touch a wall, and I've used the back foot to touch a wall. But the wall touch just lets you steady into that hand balancing so you're not flinging out or sliding out. It's not a hard press. It's just, the way you'd balance a scale. You just kind of touch and hold yourself in. If you're doing it, I'll wait. If you're waiting for me, I won't wait. We'll step out. Downward dog. I'm going to set the knees down. Shift the butt back several inches. So this is an embryo. It's just some more of that tractioning. So really I'm just sinking the butt back a few inches. We'll reach the left hand way forward toward the top of our mat. The right hand, palm face up. Slide it way back toward the right foot. One possible outcome is the forehead rests on the ground. So I'm just walking that left arm forward, gliding that right arm back toward my ankle. This is a way to give the arms and the wrist a little bit of an opening up, a stretch out. We'll switch sides. Walk the right hand fingertips forward. And just push the left hand knuckles back, palm face up, left hand. And you can reach this left hand down away from the skull in a way that can be quite a neck release. So you can explore that neck release by way of left hand reach. And release. Let's lie back. Savasana. It's so fast. We're just getting started. Allowing these next few breaths to be large, deep, full. Just want you to feel that sense of space, of volume, room. Feel the way the body contains breath, interacts with the breath. Sense how easily body yields to breath. It's interactive. Yielding dance. And if we feel nothing but emptiness and space, it's not bad. But we just want to make sure that we're attuning to, we're perceptive of the fullness and the richness and the contact aspect of a practice. And if what we get most engrossed with is the richness and the depth and the elaborateness and the complexity, we also want to make sure that we explore, at least ask the question, how do I get a sense of and attune to the space, the emptiness, that which holds all of this and pervades all of this form. And this will just offer us a well-balanced way of practicing over time. They're both approaches. And some world traditions are exceptional at emptiness practices. Some traditions are exceptional at fullness practices. Right. When you're ready, bend knees. Turn to a side and use hands. Press to seated. Here we are. Namaste.